Hey up and welcome to Callum's Corner. Right, it's the football corner today because we've reached the international break, which is, it seems like it's come really quickly to me. I don't know about anyone else. It feels like the season's been going about a day. However, we are at the international break, so we're going to use this opportunity to evaluate. We're going to talk today about the best signings of the season so far, who's really settled in, who's been disappointed, teams of the season so far, who's going to be pleased and who's going to think they've been an absolute bag of arse. And also, we're going to talk about dream teams so far, which is not something I'm looking forward to because I'm not doing very well. However, before we get stuck into the football talk, I just wanted to take a moment to thank Wondershare Filmora for sponsoring today's video. So, for those of you for some reason haven't heard of Wondershare Filmora so far, it is an absolutely fantastic video editing program that I use to edit all of my videos. It provides people with the tools that they need to be able to make professional looking content that they can be proud of whilst remaining simple and easy to use. I mean, I use it, so it can't be that difficult. Now, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to give it a try and get started with it. Wondershare Filmora can be downloaded for free. So to give it a go, simply click on the link in the description to download it at no cost to yourself. And, very excitingly, Wondershare Filmora have also released a new effects pack called Animated Emoji, which is also available for free download for a limited period of time. So, if you want to have some fun and make your videos look as cool as this, or this, or this, then again, simply follow the link in the description and you can download them for free. Yeah, massive thanks to Wondershare Filmora for sponsoring this video. It really does help out and it really does support the channel. So I would ask you guys, if you can, to do click the link in the description and go and check Wondershare Filmora out. Right, okay, let's get into the football now then, right? So I think we need to look at last week's fixtures because there was a number of interesting results. So let's bring them up on screen now and talk about the most interesting of the games. So Arsenal managed to beat Cardiff, which was a big win for me. It was a tough game going up against Cardiff away from home. Cardiff play combative football, they're in Arsenal's faces and they stood up to it pretty well. Cardiff also scored twice, they equalised twice, and Arsenal showed a great deal of resilience to go on and get another goal each time, which previously under Wenger may not have been something that had happened. They were kind of more liable to crumble if a goal got scored against them, if they got pegged back unexpectedly. And they continued to find a way through the defence, which again, previously under Wenger, they may well have just been looking for that perfect goal, that elusive, amazing goal. So they are looking like a better functioning unit right now. Obviously, it's not the finished package, still massively defensively suspect. However, going forward, there's some encouraging signs there. It's the signs that Emre's game plan is now being implemented a lot more effectively. So for an Arsenal fan, it is just starting to come together. There's just starting to be some reasons to be hopeful. So Manchester United beat Burnley in what was a massive result for Man United and Mourinho in particular. Mourinho seems to be currently reinventing himself as a real nice guy. He's going over to the Man United fans. He's making his point of applauding them, bonding with them. You can't help but think that is an act of desperation to try desperately to save his job. Obviously, they did win against Burnley, which was massively needed for them and Mourinho. However, I think people are reading probably a little bit too much into it for me. I mean, Burnley have been turgid this season, which I love because I'm a Blackburn fan. However, it's not the achievement it was last year, beating Burnley. They seem to be struggling with playing both in the UEFA Cup and the Premier League. I think maybe they needed to strengthen their team a little bit more. Their squad seems to be a little bit thin to cope with both of them at the moment. So, whilst it was a good win for Man United and Mourinho, I don't think it was quite as big as some people were saying. Watford managed to beat Spurs, managed to beat Tottenham Hotspur. This was their first real test of the season, and I, like most people, were expecting them to lose it and begin falling down the table a little bit. However, they've come through that test with flying colours. Absolutely brilliant performance. They went 1-0 down to an own goal, yet they came back, they fought back, and they managed to win 2-1. Watford, their progress this season cannot be underestimated. They have done absolutely brilliantly to be where they are so far. Obviously, Liverpool are up there equally, top of the table with them, but when you look at the different amounts spent respectively and stuff, you've got to say Watford so far at the team of the season, and well done to them. In other results, Liverpool managed to keep up winning ways. They did concede their first goal of the season, but I don't think we should read too much into that. Yeah, Alisson made a mistake. However, he's playing the way that Klopp wants him to play. He's confident with the ball. There's always going to be a mistake. There's always going to be one, and it's almost probably a good thing that he's got it out of the way early. And you shouldn't underestimate, how difficult it is to go away to Leicester and get that win. I think Liverpool did really well, and I'm still backing them, for the title this season, which I know is a big call considering how strong Man City's squad is, but I've just got a feeling it's going to be Liverpool's year this year. Chelsea managed to keep up their excellent start to the season. They've won yet again. They managed to beat Bournemouth this time. Another efficient performance. The whole Sarri ball, the whole new tactics seem to be really embraced by the squad. They seem to be loving this slightly more attacking style of play. Now they've been kind of unleashed after Conte. Really impressive start for Sarri. Really impressive start for Chelsea. And you got to think they're just going to get stronger and stronger as they learn that system more and feel more and more comfortable in it. Brighton and Fulham had a 2-2 draw. Really entertaining game. Really impressed with Fulham and the way they go forward. Look like they are slightly suspect defensively. And Brighton, Hove Albion, are solid as ever. Crystal Palace lost to Southampton at Selhurst Park, which is a big win for Southampton. They're first of the year and it's away from home. Selhurst Park is not the easiest place to go. We've got a very vocal home crowd there. And also Palace, one of the most solid teams in the division. Brilliantly coached by Roy Hodgson. So for Southampton, absolutely massive win. And what's even bigger for them is that Danny Ings is starting to score, starting to look like a real player up front for them. And that is something that they've lacked for the last few years, ever since they let Pele leave. They've lacked a real reliable striker who's good for 10-15 goals a season. And Danny Ings is looking like he could be that player. And if he is, I think Southampton will be solid and safe this year. A pretty poor result for Everton this week. It was only a 1-1 draw at home to Huddersfield. I'd imagine all the Everton fans will be very disappointed with that. Although not as disappointed as the West Ham fans. They lost at home again. It was like a 90th minute winner from Wolves, who, are a very good team. They are one of my picks for surprising team of the season. But West Ham just look clueless. I don't like the way they've strengthened. They brought in some good attacking players, but their defence is still a huge weakness. Their central midfield pairing of Noble and Wiltshire, it's just not going to work in the Premier League. If I was a West Ham fan, I would be massively worried. And Man City beat Newcastle in a match that surprised no one. Man City were always going to beat Newcastle. The only surprising thing for me is that Man City didn't manage to get more goals, although a team coached by Benitez is normally very defensively sound. Now, I would hate to be a Newcastle fan at the moment. Like West Ham, you can just see this season is not going well so far. They're almost in crisis. It must just be, being a Newcastle fan, like watching a car crash in slow motion. Because anyone who knows anything about Newcastle has been looking at that team since pre-season and saying it needs strengthening. He needs to back Benitez. He needs to be given the money to spend to bring in the players he wants. It didn't happen, and you could just see what was going to happen. The momentum of the club is now going backwards because they're not moving forwards. It's just not a happy place to be, and they're going to get pulled into that relegation zone if they're not careful. And it's what happens with Mike Ashley. He bought the club, he ends up getting them relegated, and then they pump in just enough money to get him promoted again. So his investment doesn't lose value. Up in the Premier League, he won't pump any more money in. And then again, they get relegated. Pump a little bit more money in, protects his investment, get him up again, and then he turns the money off again. It's just ridiculous. They are never, ever properly moving forward. They are never building for the future. Mike Ashley wants to do just enough to keep his investment valued, basically. And I can commiserate as a Blackburn fan. We had the Venkies, they were terrible owners, but Mike Ashley must just be incredibly frustrated, and the sooner he sells that club, the better. That is last week's features. I think we can all agree that the team of the season so far has got to be Watford. They're massively overachieving at the moment. So, as the player of the season so far, we're only a few games in, but there's still been a few standout performers. From Liverpool, I would say Van Dijk has been brilliant, as has Gomez alongside him in central defence, and also Sadio Mane has been absolutely brilliant, scoring some very important goals. However, I'm going to award it to a Watford player just because their rise has been so unexpected. I am going to give it to, how do you pronounce his name? It is Jose Holbass. He is the Watford fullback. He's been brilliant. I mean, he's 34 years old. He's great. He's been hanging around the scene for a couple of years, but he started this season brilliantly. He scored a goal. He's helped keep clean sheets, and he's also set up goals as well. So for now, he is my player of the season so far. Well, okay, it's time to talk about the fantasy football, which is not a subject that I relish talking about because I'm doing incredibly poorly. Last week, I got a grand total of, I think it was 54 points. I'm now 711th, I think it is, in the league, which is, I mean, it's piss poor, isn't it? I mean, there's over 3,000 people in my league, so I guess it's kind of mid-table, but I was hoping, expecting to be top 10 or 20, so I'm not very happy about it. However, let's give praise to people who deserve it, which isn't me in this case. This is the current top 10. Massive congratulations to Ryan with the Brazilians, who go into the international break as leader of the league. He's got a massive total of 326 points. Now, I've decided to play a wild card because something needs to change. I've done that. I've made some big substitutions in my team, and it will be up on my website with a link below if you want to go and check it out to get some ideas for your team. I don't know why you'd want to, because I'm doing rubbish. You probably should go and check someone who's actually winning out. But if you want to look at my team, it's there. It's on my website. Right, that is the end of today's video. There's no predictions this week because it's international bloody break. I mean, I do love England, don't get me wrong, but I could just do without a bloody international fixture this soon after the season has started. However, I'll try and enjoy it, and I'd urge all of you to do the same. And maybe when the England game kicks off, we could stream it together or something, so at least we can be together in our boredom. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. If you didn't, please leave a dislike. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.